Welcome to History Delights. This is an audio recording of the written history of the Iowa 32nd Volunteer Infantry Regiment. This history was compiled by members of the regiment and recorded and published in 1896. Please enjoy this recording and all of the other episodes of this continuing saga. Chapter 9. On the 13th, an order came that all who could ride on the wagons should go to Little Rock. As the train moved away, the sick men from the little grove who were too sick to go were brought in and piled down in the broiling sun in the sand in front of the old Arkansas log tavern that stood just across the road from the courthouse. That sand, I know, was crawling with graybacks, but there they laid until those in the house could be laid more closely together so as to make room for them in the inn. Look out to the little grove. Under a little oak tree on a cot is a young man, George Macy. He was shot by bushwhackers, and his life is fast ebbing away. Kneeling by his side is Calvin M. Sayer, supplicating the throne of a merciful God on behalf of the dying boy. Sayer himself was unable to walk to that cot, but was helped there by another soldier that he might pray for his young comrade. In a few weeks he, too, was gone, and doubtless met his young friend around that throne of mercy. Looking over those lying in the sand into one of the rooms in the old tavern, side by side are two young men. Wilson Boyd of Company F, as he was raised up on his little pallet of raw cotton, attempts to raise his hands, and with quivering lips he says, "Up, up, home, home," as the spirit takes its upward flight. The other, John H. Kane of Company G, is raging in the delirium of burning fever and is muttering of home, of friends, of loved ones, far away. Their spirits are soon in the spirit land, and their little cotton beds left for others. The worst were soon in their graves, the others taken to Little Rock, and the old tavern possibly left for a time without boarders. One morning, a squad of the enemy's cavalry came dashing into the village, shooting as they came. They shot two sick men who had been able to walk out into the cool of the morning, both dying from the effects. A squad of Merrill's horse, who had been out on a scout, had come and camped in the little grove. The night being very hot, they had taken off all of their clothes, except their shirts, and laid down with their horses tied around them. On hearing the firing of the Rebs, they sprang to their feet, carbines and revolvers in hand, when one of the liveliest of the lively little shirt-tail fights took place, and the Johnnies went galloping out of town. For a few days after the command left Brownsville, the sick were treated by an Arkansas doctor living there. He treated them kindly, and possibly his knowledge of the malignant types of malarial fevers and dysentery, terminating at times in pleural pneumonia, and which were peculiar to that malarial climate, especially in a season, as that was said to be more than usually hot and dry, enabled him to treat them more successfully than our own physicians. That Arkansas doctor showed himself a gentleman, but camp dysentery in this malarial climate was a fearful scourge to the Union soldier. At Brownsville, it was mostly young men who died, but on reaching Little Rock, numbers of our strong and most robust men of mature years appeared unable to rally, but sank to soldiers' graves. Here General Davidson issued an order that the detachment should be relieved from all duty, except the care for its own sick in camp, adding that that was as much as it could do.